Yo, what is up guys, Just Rick here, and today we're going to be discussing some basics to know before entering the PvP arena. This will briefly talk about all the features the PvP system encompasses, as well as some general tips to go along with them. But without further ado, let's jump right into it. I know a lot of the more anxious players just want to jump into the PvP arena right away, but I highly suggest that you take a quick detour over to the Arena Manager first. Contrary to what you may think, the Arena Manager doesn't really mean much of anything to actual player versus player combat, but he is the guy you want to go to if you want to practice your combos against an AI opponent. Simply choose this first option to be ported to the Melting Gorge training map. Before you start, you will be asked to choose a training partner out of 5, and so I'll briefly go over them now since they're not readily explained in game. The first 2 trainers have a set amount of HP that slowly recovers before they die. Diaz only has about 10,000 HP, while Antom has about 500. However, these fighters have aggressive attack patterns that have some weird super armor. They also cannot be comboed off of any sort of lift, as they have immediate get-up frames. Pretty bad training dummies in my opinion. These 3 trainers, on the other hand, are exceptional training dummies. All 3 of the trainers are exactly identical with one exception: the job type. Fighter, Hunter, and Shaman in that order. These trainers take basically no damage from attacks and have infinite HP. They shift slightly from side to side at intervals, but overall are passive and never attack or attempt to use a get-up from knockdown, making them excellent to practice your combos. Now, some things to take note. The end key can reset your cooldowns on skills, so you don't have to wait on cooldowns while you're practicing. Also, it should be noted that although it may not look like it, class type and height does seem to play a role in how high your opponents get juggled. It is worth it to try practicing on these different classes. I suppose while we're here, we should also take a look at your user interface and some things to be aware of before and during fights. This area here is the location that dictates the skills that are currently on cooldown. There's a visual timer that will display approximately how long it will take before that skill becomes available to use again. And thus it's pretty important to glance here from time to time, especially when you expect a good skill to come back. Of course, this top left area is your HP and MP bar, but immediately below this area will be the location that shows where all of your buffs and debuffs are located. Generally, buffs will be on the left hand area, while debuffs will be shown on the right. The icons for such buffs should be self-explanatory. Again, number timers will display to show approximately when these status effects will be removed. This is the hotkey bar, as I'm sure all of you know, but do you guys see this little number here? This is a nifty feature that can save your configurations for the 1 to 0 hotkeys in up to 5 different setups. You can simply press the Alt and appropriate number 1 through 5 to quickly switch between the setups you want. In PvP, it's probably not the best thing to be worrying about switching all the time, but maybe you have different PvP or PvE setups that you prefer using. I probably should have mentioned this in the PvP build section, but did you guys know that skills work differently in PvP and PvE? When you open up your skills menu, you should probably hover over your skills and press the N key to see exactly how skills function in the PvP game mode. Generally, you have much lower percentages and scaling than the PvE counterparts, and in some cases the skills work completely different in the 2 different modes, like the fighter's thrust kick for example. It's up to you to read the tooltips and do a little research for how to set up your own build. Lastly, you always have the ability to go into the options and then preferences to further customize your gameplay by assigning new key bindings, and if you want, even plug in and set up a controller if that's your preference. But anyway guys, enough with the UI, let's get to the fun part. Now that you've practiced a bit on some potential combos, I think the only training left is pure experience. You can enter the PvP arena by clicking on this button in the user interface. Once inside, you may notice a very common and self-explanatory type of lobby system in which you can create rooms or join existing ones. If you're interested in what kind of options are available to room masters, here they are. But if you're feeling a little timid to try your own hand in PvP combat, you can always opt to become a spectator in any match currently in progress by clicking the observe button given there is enough space in the match. There's also even a small shop with ammunition, skill stones, and repair options so you don't have to port back to town. But what I want to talk about are the 3 different game types this game has to offer. The team deathmatch is the staple of any multiplayer game, where two teams of players try to achieve the target number of round wins for match victory. A round ends when all members of a team have been defeated or time has expired. In the case that the time limit is reached, the team with the most members left will win the round. This game mode, as expected, is the most popular in C9. The relay is a modified version of the team deathmatch, but instead of all players fighting at once, a combatant from each team is elected to fight in a 1 versus 1 setting. That elected combatant will fight until he's defeated, and then the next one is thrown in the ring. Victors of these matches receive a slight HP recovery as compensation. The match finishes when all members of a team have been defeated. This game mode excels at providing team matches that are still moderated in a 1v1 fashion. Again, the deathmatch is a modification of the team deathmatch game type, but instead of rounds that determine victory, there's a score limit that determines it. In the case that the score limit is not reached, the team with the highest score after the allotted time limit will win. This game mode is more for casual, non-competitive play, as players can continuously respawn and join a match that is currently in progress. Probably most important to people in PvP is the aspect of competition it presents. In C9, that concept is emphasized with the various ranking systems that display or show off your progress in PvP in comparison to the rest of the server. By showing off, I quite literally mean this game requires you to do so. By going into options and then preferences, you can choose to either display your arena or ladder ranks. There is no other option. So what exactly are these two ranking systems? Your arena rank is a ranking that is obtained by competing in any of the aforementioned arena game modes, those being Team Deathmatch, Relay, and Deathmatch. After every match, you will be awarded points called AP, and you'll receive a set amount of these points regardless of the outcome. However, you will be compensated more for a win and your personal contribution or score in the game. Now, ladder ranking is the more competitive aspect of this game, and is one of the few systems that is actually displayed on the main website. Entering ranked PvP automatically enters your name into the ladder system. In doing so, your 1v1 record in this system will be matched with other players. It actually starts getting pretty complicated on how it calculates ranking points, but suffice to say, wins will increase your rank amongst other players, while losses only work to lower that rank. I should also mention that this type of ranking is one of the few designed to be reset every season, setting everyone's score back to 0. As far as I'm aware, we've had 3 PvP seasons since official release. Now you can see detailed statistics of both of these rankings by going into your character stats page and clicking these icons. Also, if you're interested as to what display title you will earn for these two ranking systems, you can check this rank info page in the arena lobby. Lastly, I want to talk a little bit about some benefits to doing the PvP system in the first place. Sure, the PvP itself is rewarding enough, but every match also rewards you with other bonuses that can be used to boost your PvE experiences. They do that by utilizing 2 different reward tokens. In addition to being awarded AP for every arena game mode, you'll also receive a corresponding amount of an item called the Gold Honor Coin. These tokens' sole purpose is to be used in the arena shop to trade in for Slayer Spellstones. It turns out that every Slayer Spellstone up to the 5th continent is awarded there, but they also come at a small gold price depending on how many arena tokens are wagered. Slayer Spellstones do increase damage to a specific region of a continent and have a chance of breaking if you are killed in PvE, so you may find yourself using this feature a lot. Now, the duel tokens are awarded by competing in ranked PvP, and much like the Gold Honor Coins, must be traded in for rewards. These duel tokens can be traded into the Intrusion Master NPC for a chest that has various prizes that will help you in PvE, including HP and MP pots and other crafting material. Well guys, I hope this has cleared up any questions you might have had with the PvP system in C9. If not, please leave your questions in the comments below and I will be happy to address them. As I've mentioned before, please help spread the word about this guide, as I'd love it if more people saw it. You can also help by liking, favoriting, and commenting. But anyway guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys later.